Sorry we're late. Oh dear, I don't have my, hopefully. Larry's going to try the link again. I had him just a minute ago, and we lost the connection for me and for him because I moved to a warmer location in the house and that didn't work. So I had to come back here. So sorry, Larry will try the, there he is. He's here, he's here, he's here. Okay. You there, Larry? Hello, Larry? Too bad. We had it linked and now it's gone. All right, let me get the microphone out and we'll do the old school way. So, too bad. Hi, Randy. Sorry about that. So, all right, I'm set up old school. We're live. We've got 10 people with us at this point. I'm still making a lot of noise, but you're on speaker, volume's up, and take it away.
All right, folks, today is Monday. I don't have clues to the date.
16. It's December 16.
16. Let me make today open to y'all for making questions or getting your questions answered. Everything is in a pause at the moment, with both sides deciding what to do. The House to meet tomorrow, and they'll be working out the rules and the articles to submit, if they're going to the floor of the House for the vote. And then, while that's going on, the Republicans in the Senate, along with the administration, are trying to determine what to do once and if it gets to the Senate. So everything's in sort of a frozen moment in time. Not to mention the fact that in Washington, what's happening is you're getting into the Christmas holiday. And so there won't be much state business, government business of the country. There won't be much as if there was any before, but there'll certainly be less of it for the next couple of 3 weeks. So today is a good day. If you've got questions, get them in.
Michelle says,
we all need a break, I believe. What?
Yeah, Michelle says Schumer's pushing for a full trial so they can call Bolton as a witness with all the stuff he supposedly wants to say against Trump, right?
Well, I got a news flash for him. I think that's, you should know by now that the Democrats are big on making claims that there's something out there that they know about, but then when it gets down to it, it doesn't ever materialize. I think you will find any way towards anything relevant to the impeachment. Nothing. You've got to look at when it gets to the Senate, there's going to be two basic charges, neither of which Bolton would have direct testimony or relative testimony to in either case. Remember, all they're charging, all they're saying is Trump obstructed Congress.
Okay, Larry, I lost the connection again. It's bad weather here, so that's probably why. So back up a little bit, talking about Bolton coming to the Senate and what you said about Schumer is making claims like all Democrats do, saying they got more than they really do. So,
yeah, well, once again, what I was saying was that Democrats, you should know by now, are bad about saying that they've got something or they know something or they've got evidence of whatever. And then when it gets to it, they really don't. And what I was telling was that Bolton is not going to bring anything to the Senate trial relevant to the two articles of impeachment. That Bolton has nothing to do with what? Obstruction of Congress. How can he be obstruction of Congress? Now they might say, well, if the president ordered him not to talk, but it's the president's right to order him not to talk. It is. You know, the president has that right. So there's nothing he can bring. It's just more that flapping their gums and trying to make something out of nothing to fire up the people. What else?
Pam says the Democrats know how to play the media. They jumped out with Schumer setting the stage to say it'll all be unfair.
Mm-hmm. The real joke of jokes, in case y'all want to know, when you hear, well, let me go back and do it this way. What have I always told y'all? When they say something in Washington, what do you know?
It's a lie, or they're projecting what they did.
No, right. But if you look to the opposite, right? They say up is down. It's a lie. So when he says they want a Senate trial, what does that mean in Washington? Speak to somebody like me.
They don't. They're scared of it.
Right. Why? Why do they not want a Senate trial? Because if they had the Senate trial and they dig in to Biden and this actual quid pro quo that went on with he and his son, and guess what? All of it gets out. And that's the problem everybody has. This Joe Biden and his little bit of graft and blackmail and extortion and everything he's doing for that foreign aid, that's not odd. That's normal. They're all participating in programs like that. And so if you do have the trial, and you do the long trial, where everything gets brought out and put on the table for the American people to see, then all the rest of the people that are running these scams on foreign aid and other types of aid programs, projects where their family members are making money, it all gets exposed, so they don't want it. But what he's doing is he's coming out and saying he wants the long trial so that when the Republicans, McConnell and Graham, decide not to have it for the very reasons I've told you to expose everybody, then the Democrats are going to say, well, it wasn't them. They wanted the trial. They'll blame it on the Republicans.
What games?
Yeah, and it's done all the time, folks, and we've got to quit falling for it. What else?
Do you think with the Senate, sorry, this is written badly. It's hard to understand exactly what he's saying. Something about the Senate not going to flip on the impeachment vote. What do the Democrats really think they're going to accomplish?
All right, say that again.
Do you think with the Senate not going to flip on the impeachment vote, what do the Democrats think they're going to accomplish?
All right, I assume from the question we're asking if the Republicans don't turn on Trump and vote to impeach him, then what then would the Democrats do? And I think they have told us what they're going to do, I believe. They have said that the president can be impeached more than one time. So this goes back to the Act 3 or the third screenplay that I've told y'all about long ago that they have written, that Schiff has written in case another scam to pull, and they will just pull it. They will just go on like this didn't happen, and they'll start all over again with another inquiry in another area. It won't be Ukraine, it'll be another area entirely, something else that they claim he has done that makes him unfit. And I believe there's a chance, it's my opinion, but I believe there is a chance if they fail at this, then there's a chance they will take the third screenplay that Schiff put together, and I think they will merge it into a 25th Amendment play to try to make out that Trump is unstable, mentally incapable of continuing on in his job. There are strong rumblings that that's what they're going to try next. What else?
Randy asked, how will this work on President Trump's end regarding testimony? Does he actually testify?
Say that again.
Will Trump actually testify? How's this going to work on his end? Will he actually come in and testify?
That will be up to his legal counsel. And from all I know about his legal team, Sekulow, Giuliani, they would wish very much that he does not testify in a Senate trial if there is one. They don't want him to, as do most attorneys not want their clients to testify in a court case. And there's really nothing Trump can add by testifying, except messing up. He's already said it's public. He didn't do quid pro quo, so what else can they ask him other than trick questions to try to catch him in some misstatement to which they could then get him for perjury?
Yeah.
So no, I don't believe they will want President Trump to testify.
So this is
He's his own man, so he, don't write him off. He might decide to do it, but I don't think it would be wise. I really don't.
Yeah, somebody is saying this is all a show, a distraction, so the unconstitutional bills and laws to our detriment can be pushed through.
There's a good chance some of that will go on after the first of the year. It will.
The Representative Party is calling for protests at different offices of Democratic members of Congress to protest the impeachment. Is that a waste of time? Is forced multiplication more effective? Is there something we should?
Multiplication is vehemently more effective. Staging protests in front of the Democrats' congressional offices, etc., that's nothing. Don't mess with that. I mean, do it if you want to make you feel like you're involved. Do it if it makes you feel good. But technically, you're not going to help much doing that. Remember, that's the problem with the Democrats, folks. One of the people earlier in the question said, the Democrats are good at handling the media. They don't have to be good at handling the media. The media's in with them. They are co-conspirators, if you will. So the media determines what the American people see. And you could have a protest of 10 million strong in front of every Democrat's office, and the media would never put it out.
Pastor Roach says if they try the 25th Amendment scam, won't his cabinet be in control of his future? Are they the ones that vote to remove him or not?
I don't know if that's the direction it would go. I really don't. They might be significant in testimony, but I don't know. It would depend, if they go to the 25th Amendment, it depends on the approach they take to do it. That will determine got to realize, look, guys, if they go after Trump for the 25th Amendment, something stating that he's unstable, he's not capable, whatever, dear God, do you have any idea what that will do to our nation internationally? Think about the impact that would have on our country as we have to work with and cooperate with other countries around the world. That would be devastating. Devastating. All negotiations, all agreements, all contracts, everything with other countries would come to a screeching halt. It would be dangerous. Very dangerous. Then it opens us up to being sued internationally. Because they could take every act he's done, going after al-Baghdadi or any of them, and make it out to be a crime because he was mentally touched or whatever. I mean, it's just fantastic, the damage that could do. What else?
Is there any way to hold the House members accountable other than elections?
No, not really. We can all play the game. We can all say, well, we could have a recall election. I have a recall election. We got an election coming up in November 2020. Prosecuting them for something, we can't do that because by the time you would get to court to prosecute under a writ of mandamus action or a mandamus action of any sort, that would be several years down the road. The election's in 2020. So you see, that's the problem. You can't touch them. We can't touch the Democrats.
So why aren't Schiff and Pelosi running against him for president next year when we're so close to the election? If they're so eager to have him out.
Well, as one could see right now, it might be that Schiff and Pelosi get the strong feeling that that would be a step down in their power.
Wow.
They don't want to be president. They do not want to be president. What else?
When confronted with corrupted, treacherous agents like this, in control of such a corrupted system as ours, how are citizens to be expected to gently persuade the system to correct?
That is a tough one. How do you get gently persuade? How do you do that? How do we force our government to listen to us? We've got one more chance to try it with a gentle approach. When I'm saying gentle, I think what we're avoiding saying is, other than some path of revolt, is there any way peacefully to resolve this matter? And the answer is yes. We got one more time. One more time. And that's November of 2020. If ever there has been an election where the phrase elections matter, this is it. This election matters. And it doesn't just matter for the presidency. It matters who we put in the House in your district. It matters who you put in the Senate in your state. This election in 2020 matters.
And don't forget the down ballot for federal prosecutor and sheriff.
Mm-hmm. So this is the election of elections.
Did you see Comey apologizing, saying he was wrong with the FISA stuff?
Did not, but I heard about it.
So what's he trying to pull?
Well, he's just trying to minimize. Well, let me give a little background. Thanks to what we did, we participated in, we didn't do it, but thanks to the help we gave when we cut them off from stopping, thanks to the Horowitz report, any future prosecutions for fraud against FISA court, when we stopped that or participated in it, that hurt Comey. So now, up until then, he thought they had a pass. They were going to pass. It was going to go by. They were going to be written up as mistakes by Horowitz. Then guess what? They were going to do an audit on the FISA courts program, rewrite the laws to make sure those 17 mistakes and errors don't happen again. And then from this day forward, if those kind of mistakes happen, it would be a crime. But up until then, no, it wouldn't have been. But when that changed, thanks to y'all, now Comey has got to deal with the mistakes, the errors. And rather than being bullish and arrogant and just denying they even existed, which is what you would do if you were facing immediate prosecution for it. I mean, if you weren't facing immediate prosecution for it, what he's doing now is saying, oh gosh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry, but it was simply a mistake. It was certainly not malicious. We didn't do it on purpose. Folks, you could have done one of them accidentally, two of them accidentally, three of them accidentally, five of them accidentally, not 17. Not 17.
So are the FISA judges crooked too?
I'm going to say, I assume so. I don't know. I don't know them. I don't know if anybody knows them. That's a secret court. That's truly a star chamber organization. I don't know. But you're supposed to have rules and laws to prevent what happened from happening.
Michael is suggesting a FISA court should be suspended until they can prove they're following the Constitution and have legal counsel appointed to argue for the target suspect.
I would not disagree with that, Michael. I would not disagree with that at all. I have worried, as have many people, about the FISA court from day one. FISA courts are literally the fruition of something that we saw once, I guess, made famous in a movie or something called Star Chambers, when people first started hearing about these secret courts, the secret rules, secret regulations. And, yes, they need to be reevaluated, and they must be levied against, without any shadow of a doubt, they must be levied against the Constitution, which at the present time, I believe they are not. I believe they constructed, thanks to the Patriot Act, the attack of 9/11, they successfully constructed a system to bypass the Constitution when they want to. What else?
Well, some of us realize that's what the Patriot Act would do. Will there be any accountability in the FBI? Will there be a fall guy? Who would that be?
Oh, wow. The state of the crimes committed by the upper level of the FBI really does not facilitate a fall guy taking the blow for all of it. It doesn't. Each one of them that participated and are participating still in the coup, according to law, they will be judged independently for their part, whether they did or did not commit a crime participating in this, what I call a coup, what everybody should call a coup attempt. And I'm careful when I say that because it's so easy to say coup attempt, folks. The coup is very much still going on. It's not over. We've exposed it, but it's still fighting. It's still fighting to destroy us. It is. What else?
David asked about liberal DAs, district attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what he was asking about it.
Liberal, we now have new classifications even for liberal. You have liberal district attorneys, and then you have progressive district attorneys. Liberal district attorneys foundationally believe in things that we do not. And it's bad when you get a prosecutor, district attorney, when you get those people who are committed to an ideology instead of the Constitution. You know, a prosecutor is to prosecute the law, not the personal opinions, not something they like or don't like. They've got to prosecute according.
Larry?
A liberal prosecutor, as such, should not hurt us. They shouldn't. They should be able to separate their political beliefs from their legal duties. Now, progressives, on the other hand, they got to be afraid. They use their legal status to shape our form of government. That's what they're out to do. And that's wrong. That's so grossly wrong. Be careful with progressives. They want, the difference between a liberal wants stuff like we don't want. They want abortion, we don't. They want this, they want that, we don't, whatever. They don't want us to have guns, we do. That's liberal versus conservative. Progressives want to change the foundation of our government. They want to change fundamentally our form of government to another form totally. They want to just totally disavow our form of government. And that's what's so sad. The true liberals, they're going to get hurt just as bad as we are if the progressives are successful. They're not going to get their way either. Liberals that think if the progressives win, it's going to be liberal holiday for them. No, it's not. They're going to be just as isolated, just as cornered, just as prosecuted, just as destroyed as we are. They are. But you can't make them believe that. What else?
Pastor was mentioning the 80 counties that have declared themselves sanctuary counties in Virginia. I know you and I have talked about that's happening, but pardon me? Are you there? Larry? I don't know what's going on. Don't know if it's the weather, don't know what's going on. Larry, you there? Larry? Oops, we lost him. So I don't know if it's at my end because of the weather or if it's at his end. Hey, we lost you.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Go ahead.
So what's next?
We were talking about Virginia and the sanctuary counties. Do you have anything to say about that?
What about it? I don't know. I must have been off when you were talking about that.
Well, somebody just asked if you knew that that 80 counties now in Virginia have declared themselves sanctuary counties. And so now the governor is threatening to send out the National Guard to confiscate. But the last thing I heard was that they had rescinded or had pulled back whatever the legislation was planning to pass regarding the gun confiscation, that had been withdrawn. That's the last I had heard, but I don't know if that's true or not.
When you're talking about the counties, the gun sanctuary against taking over the guns, taking the guns away. I don't know anything about that. I just know that if these counties will stand firm, they will win. They just need to stand up and stand firm. They have the power within the county to stop any state-born legislation coming in to take up weapons. I mean, they can't do it. If the county sheriff says no. Anna, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
And it's probably a good thing in a way that we get this challenged. You know, I'd like to see this challenge brought to the forefront, where we're actually getting down to what states and liberal progressive governments can do to individual cities, counties, etc. Let's get it out in the open. Let's prove once and for all, once again, that counties are autonomous through their sheriff. What else?
Are Nadler, Schiff, and Pelosi made of the same stuff?
Yes. And you don't want me to tell y'all what that stuff is. Trust me, you do not want me to tell you what they are made of.
Harley Schlanger said that those who testified against Trump, like Hill and Taylor, have helped impoverish Ukraine for years under Soros. Is that what Barr is investigating? Is there any truth to that?
I don't know. I really don't. And no, Barr is not investigating what they have done through the years. Remember, when Obama was president, whatever policies towards Ukraine he wanted, that's illegal. And if that meant starving Ukraine out, then he could starve them out if he wanted to use president. It was his decision to make. What Barr is investigating in the Ukraine, folks, is who, well, gotta be careful. He's investigating the plot in Ukraine to help Hillary in the 2016 election. He's finding out who was in it, who was involved with it, and what it was about. And I might add, included in that is Biden and his son.
So Matt said, thanks for not sharing everything. I'm not sure what that means, Matt. So can you clarify what you're asking? If I don't know. He said, I hear they got a grandfather clause and they're not going forward right now. Are you talking about Virginia? James asked, why can't Trump do what Putin did? The oligarchs that interfere with the elections need to go to Guantanamo.
Because we are not Russia. We are not a communist country. President Trump is forced to abide by and live by, as we all are, our Constitution. And if we get Trump to go violating the Constitution just to get at somebody that we believe needs to be got, then guys, we're no better than they are. The whole purpose of this is to save our fidelity to the Constitution. Not to break it when it benefits our side. That don't do any good. It's wrong. It's also a handicap. The other side, they have no fidelity to anything except what they want. What they want. they're loyal to. And they'll do whatever it takes to get what they want. We have to live by the foundational principles given to us first by God and then by our Constitution. And to vary from that is wrong. I'd stand up just as aggressively against that as I am against Schiff and Nadler and Pelosi and that whole scam. I would stand firm against it. I would. What else?
That's all the questions we've got. Oh, isn't Pelosi's son involved in Ukraine also?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Very much so. Matter of fact, he's involved in some other areas in addition to Ukraine. Yeah,
I've heard his name associated with some stuff, deals with China.
He's the recipient, folks, of much money by being son of Pelosi. Look, we've all wondered at one time or another, what on earth would make these people spend millions upon millions of dollars to run for an office that pays $200,000 a year? Think about it. Now, if it pays $200,000 a year, and that's all you get, that's all you get, it's just $200,000 a year. And you say, well, you get the power. Well, the power should not do you any good, right? Number one, you're not supposed by law to benefit from your position, your elected position. You're not supposed to be able to profit from it. And profit by either, as you've heard Schiff and them so eloquently say, not just in money, but just in needs. So you see a man getting $200,000 or a woman getting $200,000 a year, that's all they're supposed to get. They're supposed to go there and take care of the country. Why then are they spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to get these jobs? It's because of the fringe benefit. It's because of all of this graft. It's because of all of this quid pro quo that goes on as a matter of routine in Washington. These people are getting filthy rich. And they're using our money to get filthy rich. They're milking us out of our tax money, saying that we need to pay these funds in the case of foreign aid. We need to take our tax money, yours and mine, put it into this pot, and give it to the Ukraine, and let's call it for humanitarian purposes or the spreading of democracy, or whatever you want to call it. That's what it's supposed to go for. But nobody tells us, right, that aid we're sending to the Ukraine, by the way, the politician in our country that fought to get it for them is getting a big chunk of it on the backside in their pockets. And that's the flaw of the foreign aid program. By the time our politicians get their money off the top of it from the backside, then you take the local politicians in those countries, they rape off their part on the backside. And so then we all sit here and wonder, well, wait a minute, we put all these billions into Ukraine, but the people on the street didn't get anything. They didn't get much. And you know what? We know that happens every day, and we do it every day. We know it happens. We've seen it happen, all of us, for years and years and years. The people in these countries that we're trying to send the money to, they don't actually get it, and we actually know it. But then we just keep playing this game over and over and over again. And that's what President Trump is trying to stop. You know, you and I, all of us, I don't think we have any problem. I don't think there's anyone here that would object if our country had the money to do it, if it had the money to do it. I'm saying that, which we don't, but if we did, I have no problem build a water system so they don't poison themselves with bad water. We don't have a problem doing that, but the problem is they don't get the money for that. That's the privilege by which we give it to them, but it never gets there. Never gets to those projects. Where does it go? Well, now you know. Now you know. What else?
If they can't succeed in impeaching Trump, then what? Because they're trying to hide. The problem is so many of the Republicans are involved in this same thing.
You know, I am worried.
Give me a sec, Larry. I gotta go turn a light on because it's getting too dark in here. So that's why I'm getting up, folks. Go ahead, Larry.
Well, I'm getting worried, and I mean it, that if they cannot get rid of him through the impeachment or other finagling and doing something in that level, I fear that they could go to drastic means. I do. I pray not, but I worry about it. But that's not for us to deal with. That's what he and the people around him have to protect and caution over. Okay, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
Mike says it happened in Iraq with the Bush buddies, and Ukraine was Obama's chance to give his buddies foreign money. LBJ was obsessed with becoming president because of the power and influence with the office. Okay. And the Clinton Foundation using 5% for the cause and pocketing the rest.
Look, it happened. Don't y'all remember? It happened with Hurricane Katrina. We appropriated all of this money to help the victims of Hurricane Katrina and to build all of these shelters and the houses and mobile homes and stuff. Don't you remember the hearings they had? McCain was chair of one of them. They had these hearings and all of these people that made money, but the money didn't go to the people in New Orleans. Surely y'all remember that.
Well, and that concerns me too, Larry, with there was an executive order to help with research for autism, but none of the money was going to go to help parents get help for their kids. None of it.
I know. It's horrible. That's why we got to fix it. That's why the call to drain the swamp. If we don't drain it, it's just going to keep going. And as most of you can see, it can't really keep going. We're just about to the point where we're going to snap. Well, Miriam, let me do this. I need help today, so I need you to ask for help, and I'm going to get off. I'm having trouble breathing. I don't know why. I'm just really stressing for air right now.
Okay, I'll take over then, Larry. Thank you.
But I do need them to help today, desperately, desperately, desperately. And once again, thanks to everybody that bailed us out over the weekend. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Larry, thanks.
Just know, folks, I'm working and I'm representing us. And I think you will always be ahead of the curve in knowing what's going on. I promise you that. All right, babe. I need to run.
Okay. Thanks, Larry. All right, folks. I want to say again, thank you to everybody who helped at the end of last week with the extra funding that we needed. I don't know who or what they did, but I do know that there were some outside people who had to be paid to help. And I know that Larry came back and said that we had won a victory because, and I don't know if this had anything to do with it or not, but the fact that what Comey's doing now in backtracking about mistakes made and trying to minimize what happened, it was more significant than we realize that their plan was to write new laws so that the abuses of the FISA court, the abuses of the coup could never happen again. And then they would just sweep all the past mistakes under the rug and say, we've created the fix, so let's forget the past and move forward. And that would have meant Barr couldn't prosecute anybody. And I have no idea what happened, but it is huge. It really is huge at the success of stopping them from preventing prosecutions of these corrupt people at the top of the FBI and the people who've been involved in the coup. I mean, we're talking all the way up to Obama, Brennan, Clapper. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. How many of them will get prosecuted? How many of them will get punished? People with top security clearance, it's not safe to let them go to jail. So there's a problem. But folks, if Larry is able to do whatever he does behind the scenes with whoever works with him and helps him, I have no idea. I know there were a couple of us that were helping with research on that person that he had, we were researching things about pre-step and found out all kinds of stuff connected to his wife and her connections, and the fact that so many of these elite are in the same programs at Harvard that seem to have CIA connections, and they all get cushy jobs, great jobs in top departments, with no experience, straight out of school, with big salaries and big responsibilities and so on. There's just the scams and the schemes that are going on are just mind-boggling. And thank God we are finding out about some of that. But with my look, I'm the daughter of a pastor and a missionary, so you forgive me when I, start talking about what the Bible has to say. But one of the things the Bible does say is that God will not bring judgment on a nation without revealing the sins of the leaders, and we're finding that out. And I think that means we could be on very thin ice before God's judgment falls on this country, unless we, the people, repent. Because if we, the people, are repenting, we need the leaders to repent too. But if we, the people, are staying tight and seeking God, He has promised to protect us. So, we've got to, just like we had this incredible prayer effort in 2016, we a lot of people kind of dropped the ball and gone back to sleep. And I'm so thankful people are waking up. But folks, when you realize the kinds of things, if you have any way of putting two and two together with what Larry has to tell us, to realize that he wouldn't know things as soon as he does if he didn't have incredible sources for finding out information. And he can work behind the scenes and get things done. So folks, can anybody do anything to help him today? I've contacted everybody I know to contact to try and get some funds for him, and I don't think he's had any help today at all. And he said it was a zoo, whatever he was working on, and I said, what does that mean? And he says there's just so much fighting. And when something goes well, then everybody wants to take the credit for it. And when everybody's desperate, they're asking for ideas and then don't like an idea because it's different. But I mean, it just boggles my mind that people want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, but they want a different result. Hazel, we do trust the Lord, but God uses people to do his will. God uses people for what needs to be done. And, I have never heard of Larry having any gold dust falling from the ceiling. I have never heard of, that kind of stuff happening for him. It's never happened for me. So, it's up to people to help one another and do what needs to be done. So he really does need help. His PayPal account is the best way to do it. And it's nicholslive@aol.com is his account. If you need help getting on PayPal and don't know how to do it, you can give me a call. If you use the website has my cell phone listed, but I'm gonna, I just went in on my cell phone to be able to type the number for you. And I hadn't taken the volume off. So my cell phone number is 240-499-6729. And hopefully that'll show up. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Cindy. If everybody does 5, we have enough people here that we can get him what he needs. But I appreciate Hazel that you have done that. Thank you. Now I put in my cell phone number before Hazel's comment and it did not show up. So all I can do is say that the description box below here underneath here has the my phone number if you need help. Yeah, I'm in a fasting and prayer group through Facebook too. We've been fasting for over 2 years straight every day. Not 3 meals a day, obviously, but anyhow, there's members of the group that do. Couple things. If you want some Christmas ideas, Larry's book, 28 Years to Nowhere. Thank you, Matt. This describes his, it's the inside truth describing his journey that led to the destruction of many powerful people and the impeachment of a president. It describes his inner struggle, spending half his life committed to keeping his word to the governor of Arkansas, where he told him, one of us is leaving town. It tells of an incredible journey, but lights the pathway for readers to follow if they will participate in helping to secure the future of the greatest nation on earth. Laugh, cry, and learn the true power of faith in God's grace. And then there are people who've been waiting quite a while. They've ordered their t-shirt and we still need a couple more people to order a t-shirt. So the front says Never Socialism. It's bigger on the back. You can get it without Nichols Army, and just have the logo. It's really dramatic. It does help to give you a chance to talk to people. And I know this is winter, but you can wear it over a sweater. We do not have any special Christmas funds being put in for Larry. We just need to keep him alive, and our Christmas gift to him is to keep him alive from day to day. So thank you, Gloria, for saying that this is one of the best books you own. Buying the book, the money goes straight to Larry. Buying the t-shirt. The t-shirt is expensive because we're using the best quality you can get. Larry does get a little bit of the money from the t-shirts. Thank you, Marcia. That'd be great. You can order I don't understand your comment, Raymond. You can order the t-shirt at nicholslive.com under the merchandise page. So with that being said, there is a donate page at nicholslive.com. So you can do that as well. Anyhow, there are directions in the description box under the video that tell you how to get to Larry's PayPal, nicholslive@aol.com. It gives you the website, nicholslive.com. and my cell phone number is under there. And I do not know why I can't type on my cell phone today and have the information go in. Maybe somebody blocked me too. I obviously didn't block myself, so I don't know what happened. Guess I need to figure that out. Thanks, guys, for being here. And I know we didn't get there was money for the wall. I don't know about that. That was a little off topic. And what these politicians are made out of. These politicians, most of them like some pretty kinky stuff, and they are taking money from us. They are getting our tax money. Millions of our tax dollars are going into their pockets by this graft, this scheme that they are pulling with foreign aid and then getting kickbacks for themselves. So that is, for Schumer to say that he wants the long trial is pretty ridiculous, because he knows that the long trial means everything's coming out. But the Republicans also know that if they do the long trial on Trump for the impeachment, all this graft that the Republicans are participating in too will come out. And there's a great concern that the Republicans will turn against Trump if they go to the long trial, because they will be exposed as well. So we've got quite a catch-22 going on, because if they do the short trial, or the short just call for a vote up or down immediately, and the Republicans will stand with Trump, most of them, hopefully enough, then Schiff just goes back to pulling out the next screenplay that he wrote. So he is a screenwriter, right? So Paul, go to nicholslive.com under the merchandise page, and if you have trouble, then give me a call. I can't read any more of this stuff here. Buy a t-shirt, buy a book, order a t-shirt for somebody else. If you buy women's sizes, order one size up. They do run a little small, I've been told. So thanks, folks. That's the end of today. I'm really starting to get cold, so I need to get to another part of the house. Thanks for being here. God bless you. Bye.